So, start na sila.
Mamaya. Building, dalawa. Nakagano ng cribit. Apat naman ito cribit. Tapos dalawa sa pre-prop. Mamaya.
Hindi lang mo. Dadating. Yung
Sa karibit. Hindi mo pa sabihan. Sisimula yan.
I-donate niya yan.
Kahit na person final ka na, di ba? Yung ginagawa nyo na. Ring kape. Mamaya tatuloy na sa'yo. Init pa mo talaga yan.
Sino basa?
Asa siya mabasa? Hindi ka naman kapit. Gusto mo sa sala ko din mga dasa. Second. Second. Sir, kapit. Water lang namin siya. Malaban ka na. Delivery. Delivery at saka ulo ka.
Hindi ako
Ano ka nag-asira?
Gusto ko yung matapang. Nakakabahan ako mamaya.
Medyo nahila.
Yung Morning, everyone. I now call to order the meeting of the Youth Board's meeting for today, May 6, 2026. At the DPWH Cotabato third District Engineering Office at the Livestream in our city. Start. We will request the Secretariat to please conduct the roll call of the back members, the WG and observers, both person and online.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone, and good morning to all our viewers. I will now call the roll of attendees for this activity, the pre-bid conference. For the attendees, we have Engineer Michael John A. Ines, NPA, back chairperson. Engineer Nasir A. Darandas, NPA, back vice chairperson. Mr. Hasnor K. Ibrahim, JG, back regular member. Engineer Ken K. Encaduca, back provisional member. And Engineer Alina M. Saliwato, back provisional member. For the head of back secretariat, we have Engineer Alex P. Igaran, MPA. the head of BAC TWG, Engineer Joel B. Collado. For the members, TWG members, we have Mr. Asraf S. Amran, CPA REA, Engineer Manjor Salvi Faisal, Engineer Nikia G. Sismundo, Engineer Dusty F. Wawa, Engineer Hasanan S. Aliasgar, Engineer Abdul Khalid D. Pantao, and Engineer Friza Queen P. Sinswat. For the BAC Secretariat members, we have Engineer Akhwasari B. Farais, Engineer Ayman Nashirin A. Manalundong, Engineer Jason R. Israel, Engineer Frenchie Donna Elgadong, Engineer Merhama A. Hajisarat, Mr. Hasanodi T. Paonte, and I am your back secretariat. I am Miss Suzette Tabara. From the planning and design section, we will be reading the details of the project. We have Engineer Kenneth Mark Preston. And to assist with us from the procurement unit, we have Mr. Muhammad Ashnar Watamama. And that's all for today's attendees, Sir Chair, and to our viewers.
Thank you. Five top members present and the forum is staff. We also confirm for the record the call, five observers received their notices of the meeting at least 5 days prior in compliance with the Republic Act 12009 in its implementing rules and regulations. I also wish to inform everyone that this proceeding is being live streamed for our official YouTube channel for transparency. So for today's meeting, our main agenda is a brief conference of the 4 projects. So with that, we request the representative from planning to discuss the details of the said projects.
Good morning once again. So for the first project with contract ID 26MI0040, construction of road station 0 plus 000 to station 0 plus 440, and station 1 plus 740 to station 1 plus 799.5, Barangay ARAKAN, MATALAM, Cotabato, with total appropriation of 9,484,000 and the total APC of 9,389,160 and DEO of 94,840 with total project duration of 61 calendar days. Infra type, road completing. Target length 0.999 lane kilometers. Description of works to be done are facilities for engineer, item A113, construction of field office for the engineer. Other general requirements, project billboard, occupation safety and health program, traffic management, mobilization for earthwork. Item 1001, building and flagging. Item 1022, surplus common excavation. Item 1031A, structure excavation, common soil. Item 1033, foundation fill. Item 1036A, pipe culverts and drain excavation. Item 1041A, embankment from roadway, structure excavation. Item 1051A, subgrade preparation. For subbase and base course, item 201, aggregate subbase course. For surface courses, item 3111 1B1, Portland cement concrete pavement, 0.2 meter thickness. For bridge construction, item 4041A, reinforcing steel, grade 40, and item 4052A, structural concrete, class B. For drainage and slope protection structure, item 5001B3, pipe culverts, 910 mm diameter, class 2. Item 5001B5, pipe culverts, 1220 mm diameter, class 2. And 5052A, grouted riprap, class A. And for miscellaneous structures, item 6121, reflectorized thermoplastic pavement markings white. For equipment requirements: 2 dump truck, 1 payloader, 1 bulldozer, 1 payloader, 1 backhoe, 1 plate compactor, 1 water truck, 1 motorized road grader, 1 vibratory roller, 4 transit mixers, 2 concrete vibrators, 1 concrete batch plants, 1 concrete splitter, 1 concrete saw, 1 bar cutter, 1 bar bender, 1 cargo service truck, 9 to 10 metric tons, 1 bagger mixer, 1 cargo service truck, 2 to 5 metric tons, 1 applicator machine, and 1 milling machine. For the second project, with contract ID 26MI0043, construction of multi-purpose building covered court in Barangay Lepaga, Cotabato, coordinates 6.877994 and 124.856393 with total appropriation of 5 million. The ABC cost 4,950,000 and an EAO of 50,000. The contract duration 130 calendar days. Infra type building. For the description of works to be done, facilities for the engineer, other general requirements. For earthworks, item 8003A1, individual removal of trees, 150 to 300 mm diameter. Item 8031A, structure excavation. Item 8041A, embankment from roadway structure excavation. Item 8042A, embankment from barrow. Item 8047, gravel fill. For reinforced concrete, item 9001I, structural concrete class A. Item 9021A1, reinforcing steel, deformed, grade 40. Item 9021A2, reinforcing steel, deformed, grade 60. Item 9021B, reinforcing steel, plain round bar. Item 9032, formworks and false work. For finishing and other civil works, masonry, carpentry, finishing and painting works. Item 10031A1, ceiling, 4.5 mm metal frame, fiber cement board. Item 10462A1, CHB, non-load bearing. Item 10271, cement plaster finish. Item 10321A, painting works, masonry concrete. Item 10321C, painting works steel. For roof, framing and roofing works, item 10132A, fabricated metal roofing accessory gauge 26. Item 1014182, pre-painted metal sheets. Item 10478A, structural steel trusses. Item 10478B, structural steel purlins. Item 10473, metal structural accessories. And for electrical, item 110010, conduits, boxes, and fitting. Item 110133, wires and wiring devices. Item 11021, panel board with main and branch breakers. And item 11031, lighting fixtures. For equipment requirements, 1 backhoe, 2 dump trucks, 1 plate compactor, 1 concrete vibrator, 1 bagger mixer, 1 bar cutter, 1 bar bender, 2 welding machine, 1 cutting outfit, 1 truck mounted crane, and 1 chainsaw. For the third project with contract ID 26MI0044, completion rehabilitation of multi-purpose building covered court in Barangay TIBAO, Cotabato, coordinates 7.016143 and 124.894417 with total appropriation of 5 million. The ABC amount of 4,950,000 and an EAO of 50,000 with contract duration of 130 calendar days. Infra type building. For the description of works to be done, facilities for the engineer, other general requirements. For earthworks, item 8031A, structure excavation. Item 8041A, embankment from roadway, structure excavation. Item 8042A, embankment from barrow. Item 8047, gravel fill. For reinforced concrete, item 9001I, structural concrete class A. Item 9021A1, reinforcing steel grade 40. Item 9021A2, reinforcing steel grade 60. Item 9032, formworks and false work. For finishing and other civil works, masonry, carpentry, finishing and painting works. Item 10031A1, ceiling. 4.5 mm metal frames, fiber cement board. Item 10462A1, CHB non-load bearing. Item 10213A, floor topping plane. Item 10325, textured finish. Item 10271, cement plaster finish. Item 10321A, painting works, masonry or concrete. Item 10321C, painting works, steel. For roof framing and roofing works, item 10132A, fabricated metal roofing accessory, gauge 26, H sheet rolls. Item 10132B, fabricated metal roofing accessory, gauge 26, flashing. Item 1013, fabricated metal roofing accessory, gauge 24, gutters. Item 1013, corrugated metal roofing, gauge 26. Item 10478A, structural steel, process. Item 10478B, structural steel, purlins. Item 10473, metal structure accessories. For sewerage and plumbing works, item 1001 5B, catch basin. Item 10019, storm drainage and downspout. For electrical, item 110010, conduits, boxes, and fittings. Item 110133, wires and wiring devices. Item 11021, panel board with main and branch breakers. And item 11031, lighting fixtures. For equipment requirements, 1 backhoe, 2 dump trucks, 1 plate compactor, 1 concrete vibrator, 1 bagger mixer, 1 bar cutter, 1 bar bender, 2 welding machines, 1 cutting outfit, and 1 truck mounted crane. For the fourth project with contract ID 26MI0047, construction of road, station 0+000 to station 2+498, from Barangay Tawan-Tawan to Barangay LANGKONG, Cotabato, with total appropriation cost of 47,418,000, total ABC of 46,943,820, and EAO of 474,180, total contract duration of 155 calendar days, infra type, road completing, target length, 4.996 lane kilometers. Description of works to be done. For facilities for the engineer, item A113, construction of field office for the engineer. Item A1111, provision of furnitures, fixtures, instruments, and appliances for the field office for the engineer. Item A122, provision of 4x4 pick-up service vehicles for the engineer on bare rental basis. Other general requirements: project billboard, occupational safety and health program, traffic management, mobilization, demobilization. For earthwork, item 101, building and grabbing. Item 1013B1, removal of actual structures, 0.15 meter thick PCCP. Item 1013B3, removal of actual structures, 0.23 meter thick PCCP. Item 1014A1, removal of actual structures, 610 mm diameter RCPC. Item 1014A3, removal of actual structures, 910 mm diameter RCPC. Item 1014A5, removal of actual structures, 1220 mm diameter RCPC. Item 1033, foundation fill. Item 1036A, pipe culverts and drain excavation. Item 1042A, embankment from Barrow. Item 1041A, embankment from roadway, structure excavation. Item 1051A, subgrade preparation. For subbase and base course, item 2001, aggregate subbase course. For surface courses, item 311, 1C1, Portland cement. Concrete pavement, 0.23 meter thick. For bridge construction, item 4041A, reinforcing steel grade 40. Item 4041B, reinforcing steel grade 60. Item 4051A, structural concrete, class A. Item 4052A, structural concrete, class B. Item 4078, lean concrete, class B, 16.5 MPa. For drainage and stope protection structures, item 5001B3, pipe culverts, 910 mm diameter, class 2 RCPC. And for miscellaneous structures, item 6121, reflectorized thermoplastic pavement markings white. For equipment requirements, 2 dump trucks, 1 payloader, 1 bulldozer, 1 backhoe with breaker, 1 backhoe, 1 boom truck, 1 clay compactor, 1 water truck, 1 motorized road grader, 1 vibratory roller, 4 transit mixers, 2 concrete vibrators, 1 concrete batch plant, 1 concrete splitter, 1 concrete saw, 1 bar cutter, 1 bar bender, 1 cargo service truck 9 to 10 metric ton, 1 bagger mixer, 1 cargo service truck 2 to 5 metric ton, 1 applicator machine, and 1 milling machine. All program of works and related engineering design plans are all signed and approved. And for the certification of CMPD and TAWAN are all approved, and also the street line diagrams for the roads are approved, and there are no problems in road testing.
So, we will now proceed with the proposal requirements for the submission of the bid documents that needs to be complied with the contractor. Your requests, engineer, to discuss the set requirements.
Citing the additional announcement and instructions. This is for the consumption, or this is for the information and guidance of our potential participating. For this bid conference, bid documents deadline of submission will be on May 18, 2026 of exactly 10 o'clock a.m. And afterwards, bid opening will commence. Second, as much as possible, prior to pre-bid conference or bid opening, make sure that the participating leaders have already signified their intent with the request for expression of interest submitted to our office before they will be conducting a joint popular inspection with personnel from planning and design section, and be issued with a bid tender from the procurement unit and an order of payment from the finance section. Third, for participating leaders, they need to conduct a joint popular inspection with the DPWH personnel on the proposed site so that they will validate the said location with comparison to the plan and FAO, and to submit afterwards as the bit of site inspection duly notarized. The processing of CW electronic eligibility will be simultaneously done. Additional instruction, late submission of bid documents will no longer be accepted as set deadline, time, and date. This is the page of our bidding documents. The left side is the cover page, and the right side is the second page showing yung contract ID and the project name. This is the checklist of technical and financial documents. To further elaborate the checklist of technical and financial documents, For technical component envelope, just three documents. Legal documents, the valid Philippines registration certificate for the platinum membership should be in accordance with Section 20 of the IRR of RA number 12009. It must be valid at the time of the date opening and it shall be signed for pay. Second, updated general information sheet reflecting the beneficial ownership information will be submitted to the TEC in accordance with its annual or editorial requirements. The original document referred to must have an acknowledgement sheet from the Securities and Exchange Commission and should be submitted. The copy should be submitted. Shall be signed per page. Third, statement of the prospective bidder of all its ongoing government private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, with any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity, to the contract to be bid. And statement of the bidder's SLCC, or the single largest completed contract, similar to the contract to be bid, except under conditions provided in sections 82.4.13 and 52.4.1.4 of the IRR of RA 12009 within the relevant period as provided in the bidding document. Then, original copy of bid security. If it is in the form of a surety bond, submit also a certification issued by the Insurance Commission or original copy of the notarized bid securing declaration. Then, the original duly signed omnibus sworn statement of SS should be in accordance with Section 54.3 of the IRR of RA 12009. And, if applicable, original notarized secretary certificate in case of a corporation, partnership, or cooperative, or original special power of attorney of all members of the joint venture, giving full power and authority to its officer to sign the omnibus sworn statement and who acts to represent the bidder. Lastly, the prospective bidder's computation of the NFCC, or the net financial contracting capacity, or a committed line of credit from a universal or commercial bank in lieu of its NFCC computation. The formula is provided under Section 52.4.1.4 of the IRR of RA 12009 shall be followed. If applicable, a duly signed joint venture agreement in case the joint venture is in existence, or duly notarized statements from all the potential joint venture partners stating that they will enter into and abide with the provisions of the joint venture agreement in the instance that the bid is successful. Then, the original of duly signed and accomplished financial bid form. The financial component envelope is composed of first the original duly signed and accomplished financial bid form and the original of duly signed and accomplished price schedules. Other documentary requirements under RA 12009 as applicable for foreign bidders claiming by reason of their country's extension of reciprocal rights to Filipinos, certification from the relevant government office of their country stating that Filipinos are allowed to participate in government procurement activities with the same item or product. Another, certification from the BRGY if the bidder claims preference as a domestic bidder or domestic entity. This is the omnibus sworn statement Reminders, this form should be duly signed by the authorized representative of the firm, entity, joint venture, or consortium in case of JV consortium. Omnibus word statement should be notarized. Reader shall submit the original copy of the OSS and use the prescribed format or template of the omnibus word statement. This form should be duly signed by the authorized representative of the firm, entity, or joint venture of consortium. Second, omnibus word statement should be notarized. Third, reader shall submit the original copy of the OSS. And fourth, use the prescribed format or template of the omnibus word statement. For the bid securing declaration, this form should be duly signed by the authorized signatory of the firm, entity, or joint venture or consortium in case of JV or consortium. This form should be notarized. And lastly, bidder shall submit the original copy of the bid securing declaration. This is the statement of all ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any. Reminders regarding this. First, this form should be duly signed by the authorized representative. Second, be specific on the name of the contract, owner's name and address, date of contract, contract duration, nature of work, and contractor's role, consistent with the supporting documents. Third, supporting documents in the technical component. This is not required. However, during the conduct of post-quam, the original copies of the supporting documents shall be presented. Supporting documents are the notice of award, contract, the NTP, and certificate of accomplishment from project owner or representative of ongoing project. Fourth, all data on the form shall be correct and consistent. Fifth, bidders shall submit the original copy of the statement of all with the ongoing government and private. For the statement of single largest completed contract, be it to inform you that this form should be duly signed by the authorized representative of the firm, entity, JV, or consortium. Second, be specific on the name of the contract, owner's name and address, telephone number, date of contract, contract duration, nature of work, and contractor's role, consistent with the supporting documents. Third, the actual total contract value at completion shall meet the required experience of having completed SLCC that is similar to the project equivalent to at least 50% of the ABC. SLCC should be a completed project. SLCC shall be supported with a certificate of final acceptance or official receipts of sales invoice issued by the owner. All data on the form shall be correct and consistent. And lastly, bidder shall submit the original copy of the SLCC. This form should be duly signed by the authorized representative of the firm. And bidders must have completed a single contract that is similar to this project and equivalent of at least 50% of the ABC. This is the duly signed and accomplished financial aid form. Reminders, this form should be duly signed by the authorized representative. It should be submitted in the original copy. Third, in filling out of the bid forms, bidder shall provide a discount offer in the form of amount in figures and inquiries, including its application and methodology. In case of no discount offered, bidders shall write NA. For the type of business ownership na corporation, Ito po yung mukha ng sworn affidavit of eligibility and beneficial ownership. I'm citing the common reasons of disqualification. First, the non-submission of any of the required documents in the technical and financial component of the bid. Second, the non-declaration of all ongoing contracts. Third, declaration of SLCC not contracted or completed. Fourth, falsification of documents in the bid submission. Fifth, some pages are not signed or initialed. Six, failure to indicate comply where it is required in the technical specifications. 7. Failure to integrate the bid bulletin in the technical specifications or failure to attach a signed copy of the bid bulletin. Then, next, incorrect submission of OSS in prescribed form. The expired platinum Phillips registration. And the non-submission of proof of ownership as specified in the bidding documents. More additional announcements. Envelopes are composed of 3 sub-envelopes, dalawang original documents, and copy 1. Original is composed of sealed 2 sub-envelopes, the technical and financial documents. Tsaka yung copy 1 of the same procedure. Certificate of field debts registration, particularly on civil works, should be platinum membership and should not be expired unless otherwise will result in disqualification. List of eligibility documents composed of DTI certificate, mayor's permit, tax clearance, audited financial statement, and fee copy to be updated and validated in Annex A of your field web certificate. In the case of the mayor's permit, especially during early procurement activity or end of the year, receipt for renewal of the said permit is allowed as proof of renewal. But for other mentioned documents, it is a ground for disqualifications once locked are expired. The said proof of renewal should also be submitted to the TWA for updating. Failure to do so would result in disqualification as per the Public Act 12009. Photocopy document should present the original document to the procurement unit for them to validate the certified blue copy by them also should secure a CTC from where documents originated to ensure the document is genuine. Example, the mayor's permit, bill debts, PCAB, tax clearance, audited financial statement. The firm is not allowed to CTC by itself because it would result to being a self-serving, observed, and noted by the COA auditor, which is part of their findings report. Audited financial statements should be BIR stamp, received, and for PCAB license, contractors under small A and small B will no longer be required to their experience as long as the required range and cost not exceeding 13 million. Documents are properly clear tagged according to checklist attached during posting. Also, please fasten the documents at the left side portion ready for blue binder protection as per ISO requirement. Standard form should be followed. List of all ongoing projects is LCC, the DO9 and DO58 series of 2012, the DO11 series of 2017, and other standard forms. The DO9 is a certification no longer required for metallization. Also for DO11. But DO9 and DO58 needs to be notarized. DO1 then series 2024, the implementation of ISO 9001 2015 certification requirement for large A, medium B, and medium A contractors in the procurement of infrastructure projects of the department. Additional announcement and instructions for JB projects of ongoing projects of both leaders, contractors. The required attachments should be included on SLCC attachment of the partner having the required experience should be included. Same criteria or requirements with the sole proprietorship should be complied. JBA should also be notarized. Secretary certificate for participating leaders like the cooperative lead to be notarized. The structural organization showing PM, TEMA, safety officer, and construction foreman. The PMP and ME in the structural organization should be of different person as required in a CWA awarding. The minimum years of experience as posted in the IED should also be indicated. PRC ID should also be updated. Certificate of accreditation should be updated also. Team of the procurator and key personnel should be included in this document. In cases where ME and PE of the contractor should be replaced during the implementation stage as compared to the early declaration during bid opening, proper coordination and submission of request letter for change of personnel should be done by the winning contractor to have it evaluated and approved by the office. The pledge of equipment for the contract. The minimum requirement of equipment should be followed with attached clear copy of updated CR, OR of the vehicles used. The list of equipment should coincide with the attachments, like proof of ownership or lease contract. The lease contract should also comply with the required attachments, like CR, OR of the vehicle in a clear copy. QR code is already implemented by the LEO, so it should be placed as much as possible on the required equipment or tools in the list of minimum requirements of equipment as posted should be included in compliance with the requirements to avoid confusion in part of the For financial documents, the bill of quantities as posted should be followed, like the item number, description, and quantity. Notices will be sent through email and courier if there were no notice of ineligibility immediately, since we were required by the TAWAN to submit contract documents with the prescribed time. Post qualification requirements should be submitted within 5 calendar days after an issuance of notice of lowest calculated fee. The notice of award requirements should be submitted within 10 days as required, and this also includes certification for the insurance company. For the bid bulletin, it will be issued in some instances where there were clarifications and changes in the schedule of bid opening, and the supplemental bid bulletins will be issued for any amendments and posted ITB, particularly on some changes in the items of work, description, and quantity for inclusion of any items of work as compared with the previously posted. Posting of bid supplemental bulletins will be posted 7 calendar days prior to bid opening, so please visit PhilJets and DPWH website for your reference. We are encouraging the participating bidders to please visit the website where we posted our bidding documents, particularly PhilJets and DPWH websites, for you to check mga possible changes in the item description or even the quantity, even for possible change in schedule po na lang. That's all in the session. So,
Additional requirements or additional announcement. Follow the pass-fail criteria. Missing one document in the checklist means automatic disqualification. Strongly encourage you to conduct a site inspection to verify the actual condition. The bid opening is on May 18. Exactly 10 o'clock. Conference room. Bids will not be accepted. So maybe ask if there are any clarification or other concern. So with all four procurement projects have been presented and recorded and there being no further matters to discuss, this meeting is hereby adjourned.